This is a business credit card, and in this video, I'll explain why you need one. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why your next credit card should be a business card. If you currently don't have a business credit card or just curious about learning more about them, then keep watching. So let's dive right into the first reason. Business credit cards typically don't affect your own personal credit score. I want to start off by saying that when you do apply for a business credit card, you will still take a little hit to your own personal credit score. Since the banks do look at your own personal credit report to see if you do qualify for the card, since business credit cards are still personally guaranteed by you. But aside from this issue, your business line of credit will be completely different from your own personal line of credit. In other words, if you have a high balance on your business credit card, this will not affect the utilization on your own personal credit, so this doesn't affect your own personal credit score. The majority of business credit cards do not actively report or affect your own personal credit, but there are a few business credit cards out there that will. Two of the banks that I know for sure that reports to the credit bureaus and that affect your own personal credit is Capital One and Discover. Majority of other banks such as Chase, American Express, and Bank of America will only affect your own personal credit if your account is in bad standing or delinquent. In other words, if you stop making payments, this will hurt your own personal credit score. Another bonus about getting a business credit card is that most banks won't see this account on your own personal credit report. If you guys are familiar with Chase, they have this thing called the 524 rule, which basically means that you cannot get approved for another Chase card if you apply for more than 5 personal credit cards within the last 24 months. Chase does really have some of the best credit cards, so not being able to apply to some of them can really cause some FOMO. A lot of banks out there do have these so-called guidelines or rules, so business credit cards can keep your credit profile on a DL so you can earn and churn more cards. Now let's move on to the second reason on why you should get a business credit card. From an organization standpoint, having expenses from a business credit card and a personal credit card makes life so much simpler. I recently just did my taxes for 2019, and when it came time to do tax write-offs and figure out what kind of expenses I had for my business, all I had to do was take a look at my expenses on my business credit card. This may not seem all that special or cool, but having that peace of mind of knowing where everything is at is so important. Because having a separate card just for business expenses makes accounting so much easier. Another bonus that many business credit cards have is that they make it pretty simple to export your transaction history to QuickBooks or any other tax accounting software. So from a bookkeeping standpoint, the easier you can gather all the information in one place, this will save you so much time in the long run. If you have a business that's large enough to have employees, then it's especially helpful to have a business credit card. Depending on the card that you have, you can set up restrictions up to a certain amount, spending category, and even certain days. For example, you can limit one employee up to $50 a day for meals and $100 a week on gas. As you guys can see, you can have much better control of your money management within your business. I would not even want to add an employee as an authorized user to my own personal credit card where they can have a direct effect to my own personal credit score even if I trusted the person. People often ask me, can I use a business card for personal use? To answer that, yes, you can. Most credit cards do have disclaimers saying that you should only use this card for business, but they really have no way of knowing what is a business expense for you. If I buy groceries, the credit card companies won't know if I'm buying that food for myself or food for a company party. Personally, I would rather keep personal expenses off business credit cards, but it's really up to you. Now let's get into the juicy part of why you want a business credit card. Like with most people, including myself, I want to get those sign-up bonuses and churn those points. Having access to business credit cards allows you to double dip into more available cards. If you guys are not into getting sign-up bonuses, then you're just leaving money on the table. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who are totally against this, but to play this credit card game, you have to consider the sign-up bonuses. Being able to get welcome offers on personal credit cards is one thing, but being able to get sign-up bonuses on business credit cards as well just opens up even more possibilities of more money that you can get. So here, let me give you an example. So currently at the making of this video, you can get the Chase Ink Business Preferred Card, and after you spend $5,000 within the first 3 months, you can earn 80,000 ultimate reward points. So if you were to look at that as a cash value, then it's $800. But if you were to redeem these points through the Chase portal and for travel, it could be worth $1,000. Some people say that this card is not worth it because of the annual fee of $95. But even if you were just to redeem the points for cash back, you can pay for the annual fee 8 times. If you were to keep this card just for a couple of years, you will still be net positive. So continue on the topic of sign-on bonuses, you can get repeat sign-on bonuses fairly easily. So for example, I have the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card. One of them is under a different business EIN, and the other is under my own social security number. An EIN number is basically just a tax identification number for your business. So imagine a social security number, but for a company. So this means that if you have multiple businesses, you can get multiples of the same card with repeated sign-on bonuses. With business credit cards, since you only have one social security number attached to it, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get repeat sign-on bonuses with them. I know trying to aim for sign-on bonuses is more of a personal venture and you're basically doing it for personal gain, but let me tell you more about the perks of business credit cards. If you're just starting a business, there's going to be startup expenses. Depending on your risk level and how much money you want to leverage, you don't want to put all of your expenses on your own personal credit cards. If you're in startup mode, you may not get a return on your money for months or even much longer than that. Having all those expenses on personal credit cards will use up all of your utilization and will bring your credit score down. When you leverage those expenses on zero APR business credit cards, it won't affect your own personal credit, and you have time to build your business and generate income. Here are some cards that have current promotions of 0 APR for the first 12 months. The Chase Inc. Business Unlimited and Cash, Amex Blue Business Plus and Cash, and the US Bank Business Platinum Card. All of these cards don't have annual fees either, so you don't need to cancel them in the future. Remember guys, I'm not advising you guys to put everything on your credit in hope of your business succeeds, so you should still have your own cash reserves. So aside from sign-on bonuses and being able to leverage your own money, you do get access to different types of bonus categories as well. Of course, these categories are going to be more specific towards businesses, but it's still beneficial to have if you decide to use them personally. Some of the categories that you will get with business credit cards includes advertising, shipping costs, gas, restaurants, and travel. Business credit cards are really not that much different, just due to the fact that you just get cash back on business expenses. Another perk that's awesome with business credit cards is that you typically get higher spending limits. So when you really think about it, running a business typically requires more movement of cash. If you were to take a look at this graph showing the operating cost of a cup of coffee, about 80% of the price is from expenses. I know that this is a loose example, but you can see there that there are more expenses. Banks, they recognize this, so they tend to be more lenient towards credit limits. Of course, they're not going to be giving you a $100,000 credit limit right off the bat. As your business grows, so will your credit limit. Having a higher credit limit also provides a financial cushion. I'm not saying to resort to credit cards as an emergency fund, but it is nice to have the extra access to money if needed. Another reason why you should consider getting a business credit card is that you will start building business credit. But why is this beneficial to you? As we all know, your own personal credit report is important for loans, mortgages, and other ways of trying to leverage your money. When it comes down to business credit, this will help vendors and suppliers that you work with to help get financing through them. Let's say that you run an online store and you ship packages daily. As a part of your business expenses, you will be using a lot of shipping supplies like boxes and tape. So if you need these kind of supplies often, you can purchase supplies from places like Uline where they cater towards businesses. If you have great business credit, you can get a net 30 or net 60 account. These type of accounts allow you to purchase supplies and pay them back either in 30 or 60 days. This way you can continue to operate and expand your business when you are waiting on payment. Like with most credit cards, you still need to pay off your statement credit every single month, or you'll be charged with high interest fees. There are business cards like the Amex Plum card where you can get 60 days to pay off your balance interest free. But the thing with this card is that there is an annual fee of $250, so you need to make sure that the benefit is worth it for you. Once you do build up some business credit, you can review your credit score for free on websites like nav.com. But now let's say that you don't have any personal credit at all. How would you build business credit? Let me show you how. There are cards called secure cards. These cards cater more towards people who don't have credit or poor credit. You typically see these cards more towards personal use, but you can get a business secure card as well. Wells Fargo has a business secure card where you can have a credit limit up to the amount that you put in as a deposit. I know, getting a secure card defeats the purpose of leveraging money for a startup, but if your intention is to build business credit for a business that already generates income, then you really can't go wrong with that card. So here are my final thoughts. Business cards offer a bunch of different advantages over personal cards. Depending on which card is best for you or your business will depend on a number of factors like the size of your company, spending priorities, and the amount of credit that you need. If you fix cars on the weekends or drive Uber every now and then, you might as well go with a simple 2% cashback card like the Amex Blue Business Plus. Or maybe you're just a person who want to get access to more cards to get those sign-on bonuses. I'll admit, I do fall in that category sometimes, so get a good story together and be ready to BS if needed. Before you sign up for any card, just make sure to spend some time analyzing your own personal credit to make sure that you can get an approval. There's no point on getting hard inquiries on your credit by blindly applying for more cards. If this is your first time getting a Chase business card, just make sure that you're under 524. If you have more than 5 credit cards with Amex, then you probably get denied if you applied for another. Remember, this credit card game is a long-term game, so you can always collect credit cards over time. There will always be better sign-up bonuses and better perks. Alright winners, so that does it for me. If you haven't already, make sure you give this video a like because this will help support the channel so much. And if you want to learn more about credit cards and personal finance, come hang out with me some more over here.